He's screaming in pain as Crypto jumps on him. Okay, I don't see the purpose of this. 2 thumbs down, very disappointed. Ugh. And meanwhile, in lighter news, in cultural news, I understand. The markets are putting me in a bad mood. Also, I want President Trump's plans to succeed. As I've said 1,000 times here on the show, President Trump is doing too much important work for all of it to be waylaid by bad things happening. And so I'm in a bit of a bad mood, I'll be honest with you. But I decided to do something that put me in even a worse mood, and that was I watched the new preview for Superman that was put out by James Gunn. Now, as y'all know, not a huge James Gunn fan. Fine in Guardians of the Galaxy when it's all sort of like ridiculous humor, kind of gonzo humor. People unsurfaced his old tweets that were kind of jokey, ugly tweets in early days of Twitter. James Gunn, based on those old tweets, was actually fired by Marvel. And I will say that I publicly supported the idea that he should be rehired because you shouldn't cancel people based on jokes that they made back when Twitter was a jokier place. And now he's directing the new Superman movie. And we can watch this preview together. It sucks. It's bad. I hate to break it to you. It's just, it's terrible. Here we go. So for those who can't see, Superman is wounded and he is lying on the snow. The original preview, it just showed at this point Crypto the dog arriving, but this preview is much longer. Here comes Crypto. He whistles for Crypto, the super dog. So Crypto arrives, and then Crypto proceeds to, for well over a minute, beat the living hell out of Superman. He's screaming in pain as Crypto jumps on him. And continues to nudge him, bite him. Okay, I don't see the purpose of this.
Take me home.
So this is not dramatic, it's just silly and ridiculous. Okay, and then finally Crypto figures out that he needs to take Superman back to the Fortress of Solitude. Every James Gunn joke is a Monty Python joke, just lasts 3 times too long. So now Crypto is dragging Superman's prone body through the snow back toward the Fortress of Solitude, which arises from the Arctic. And it's a cool-looking Fortress of Solitude, I'll give you that. But don't worry, it gets worse. Once Superman is brought inside, a team of robots, presumably of Kryptonian origin, then starts to handle him, and they have one of the most nonsensical exchanges in any James Gunn movie, which is to say pretty nonsensical.
Superman!
Here come the robots. They pick him up and they're carrying him.
Thank you.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at 'em in no time.
Okay, and then they're gonna hit Superman with a magnifying glass. All right, and now he's painfully absorbing the sun, which apparently was not available before. So the sun, which, as we all know, illuminates the Earth, which is the planet we are currently spinning on, apparently only the magnifying glass could make Superman better. We will notice the obvious incongruity of one robot explaining that the robots have no feelings, and then the female robot being giggly like a little girl at Superman. The entire attitude here is wrong. The entire attitude is wrong. Okay, the gold standard for Superman movies remains the original Superman in the late 70s by Richard Donner. By far the best Superman movie, not close. Better than Man of Steel, significantly better. Because it gets right the idea that there's a solemnity to Superman, that he is supposed to be the embodiment of America, and then the second half of the movie shifts into a more comic book, humorous mode. And it's very, the color palette is very rich and very bright. Man of Steel, they basically desaturate the entire film. So the entire color palette is grayscale and kind of ugly and dark, and the entire character of Superman is much darker. attitude here is totally wrong. It's just Guardians of the Galaxy in a Superman suit, and that ticks me off. It really does, because as a lifelong fan of the Superman brand, let me just say that it's not that hard to get Superman right. He's supposed to be the embodiment of everything cool and heroic about America, and, of course, he's supposed to be charming as well. That's the whole shtick. So you don't need full-scale James Gunn. He's the same character as essentially Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy, and all the jokes are the same as a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It's silly and stupid and bad. Do not like. 2 thumbs down. Very disappointed. Ugh. We'll get to more on this in just a moment. First, after more than a year of war, terror, and pain in Israel, the need for security essentials and support for first responders is still critical. On March 20th, a missile sent from the Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen was intercepted by the Israel Defense Force, resulting in 13 injuries from people rushing to bomb shelters. Israel has to be prepared for the next attack, wherever it may come from. Unfortunately, Israel is surrounded by enemies on all sides. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has supported and will continue to support the people of Israel with life-saving security essentials. Your gift today will help save lives by providing bomb shelters, armored security vehicles and ambulances, firefighting equipment, flak jackets, bulletproof vests, and so much more. Your generous donation today will help ensure the people of Israel are safe and secure in the days to come, as threats of terror remain imminent. For over 3 decades, the Fellowship has stood by Israel during times of crisis. Now your support makes a critical difference. Every donation contributes directly to protecting vulnerable communities and providing emergency services that save lives. Join us in standing with Israel when it matters most. Give a gift to bless Israel and her people by visiting benforthefellowship.org. That's benforthefellowship.org. Thank you and God bless. benforthefellowship.org. Go check them out today. I was going to be put in a better mood by that, and then I was just put in a worse mood by that. In other news, Wicked for Good, which is the second part of Wicked, the footage has now been presented to attendees at CinemaCon in Las Vegas by Universal. So, as I said, I liked Wicked Part 1. I'm sure Wicked Part 2 will be good, although I assume they filmed these things at the same time. I would hope so, because unfortunately both leading actresses seem to be starving themselves into submission. I mean, they really look rough out there. Meanwhile, Spider-Man 4 has been, the release of it has been announced July 31st, 2026. That is 1 week after Christopher Nolan's new film, The Odyssey, which, again, I'm up for anything Christopher Nolan. John Wick 5 has been announced, and I'm hoping that the John Wick 5 is better than John Wick 4. As you know, I was a little disappointed in John Wick 4. You can go back and see my YouTube review of it. Obviously, he wasn't dead at the end of John Wick 4. That was obviously clear. There was a joke going around, however. He was supposed to be dead. They're at his grave. And so John Wick 5, John Wick in Hell, was, I thought, a pretty funny pitch. There's a Naked Gun reboot that is coming. Now, again, I think it's kind of sad that the Zucker brothers weren't involved in the Naked Gun reboot. They're the ones who were responsible for the first Naked Gun. There's one funny joke in the Naked Gun reboot, and it's about O.J. Simpson. It's a pretty good joke.
Hi, Daddy. It's me, Frank Jr. Love you.
Hey, Dad. Boy, do I miss you.
And that joke put me in a better mood. It did. And then I found out that Greta Gerwig's Netflix adaptation of The Magician's Nephew, which is the first book in C.S. Lewis's Narnia series, the person who they are thinking about casting as Aslan, who is supposed to be very obviously a metaphor for Jesus. There's no question. It's clear in the books. I mean, down to the resurrection of Aslan in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The voice is now going to be Meryl Streep, which makes no sense at all on a character level. It makes no sense at all on a metaphorical level. It's one of the dumbest things you could possibly do. If you want to alienate the entire C.S. Lewis audience, this is the thing you should do. Meanwhile, Charlie XCX is apparently in talks for the role of the White Witch. But why? Why are you doing this? Just adapt it straight. It's not that difficult. It's a good book. Just adapt it straight. This is the same as that ridiculous suggestion a while back that Cynthia Erivo was going to be cast in Jesus Christ Superstar as Jesus. Stop with this stuff. Stop it. Just stop. It's stupid and it's insulting and it's gross, and you would never do this with any other religion. You wouldn't. It's ridiculous and annoying and just demonstrative of how Hollywood spits on people who don't believe the things they believe, and then takes classic intellectual property from those spaces and uses it against them. Unpleasant, bad, do not like. Well, that's all for now, folks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below. Be sure to check out all of the other great content on my channel. I'll see you here next time.